Hello, I'm Chadwick Boseman, and we will be analyzing the movie The Dark Knight. We will be exploring the idea of corruption in American government and society. Corruption throughout the American government and society is a large issue and affects many aspects of life. However, this corruption is not permanent, and the movie shows that when we stand together as Americans, we can overcome this corruption. The ideology is shown in many parts of The Dark Knight, and we have analyzed the scenes that best depict corruption in America. The first scene we shredded was the interrogation of the Joker. In this scene, Batman is interrogating Joker, and he begins to expose the corruption that's inside the police and the politicians.
Don't talk like one of them. You're not. Even if you'd like to be. To them, you're just a freak. Like me. They need you right now. When they don't, they'll cast you out. Like a leper. See, their morals, their code, it's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
In this scene, the Joker exposes the corruption of police and how they are not always protecting the interests of the people. There are many cases of police corruption in the real world. For example, a cop in Bakersfield, California was talking to an informant of a drug cartel who flashed him $15,000 and tried to appeal to his greedy nature. The cop took the chance to get rich quick and eventually was caught working alongside drug dealers. While the action of a few cops doesn't represent the actions of all cops, it shows that the corruption is still present. A second example of how the police can be corrupt is a situation in Baltimore with two other cops. These cops would work on catching drug dealers and shutting down drug operations in Baltimore. What they actually did was get search and arrest warrants, go into the drug dealer houses and crack houses, and stole everything for themselves. Now that's corruption.
Hey, I'm Crush. In this next scene, Joker confronts Harvey Dent in the hospital and talks to him about what his plan to unleash chaos in Gotham is. And then he proceeds to make Harvey see that what happened to him isn't the Joker's fault. And he then gives Harvey the chance to join him and take his vengeance.
The mob has plans. The cops have plans. Gordon's got plans. You know, they're schemers. Schemers trying to control their little worlds. I'm not a schemer. I try to show the schemers how pathetic their attempts to control things really are. So, when I say, come here, when I say that you and your girlfriend was nothing personal, you know that I'm telling the truth. It's the schemers that put you where you are. You were a schemer, you had plans, and look where that got you. Introduce a little anarchy. Upset the established order, and everything becomes chaos. I'm an agent of chaos. Oh, and you know the thing about chaos? It's fear. You live. You die. Now we're talking.
Wow, that was really intense. This scene is a perfect example of how easily people can be manipulated and ultimately turn to corruption. Harvey's in the hospital after his accident and in a vulnerable position. Joker takes advantage of his condition and comes to the hospital to explain why Harvey should jump trains and work with him. Harvey was overwhelmed by what has happened to him recently and became desperate to make his life better. Joker's way seemed quick and easy, which is why it was so appealing to Harvey. Overall, this scene shows just how easily people can switch paths and end up on the wrong one. One example of how easily people can become corrupt is the story of one man, Joe Cassano, who helped illegally bring down the company American International Group Incorporated. He made millions in the profits, and he also got off scot-free. Also in the U.S., there are about 500,000 elected officials at all levels, and on average, 900 of those 500,000 officials are investigated for corruption each year, showing that plain dirty can sometimes pay off.
The third scene we tackled, Harvey Dent, aka Two-Face, has turned evil and is seeking vengeance for the death of his beloved Rachel! He kidnaps Police Commissioner Gordon's wife and kids and flips a coin to decide their fate.
You don't want to hurt the boy, Harvey.
It's not about what I want. It's about what's fair! You thought we could be decent men in an indecent time. You were wrong. The world is cruel, and the only morality in a cruel world is chance. Unbiased, unprejudiced, fair. His son's got the same chance she had. 50-50.
What happened to Rachel wasn't chance. We decided to act. We three.
Then why was it me who was the only one who lost everything?
It wasn't.
The Joker chose me!
Because you were the best of us. He wanted to prove that even someone as good as you could fall.
And he was right.
You're the one pointing the gun, Harvey. So point it at the people responsible.
Fair enough. You first.
This scene demonstrates how many of the politicians like Harvey Dent may put on a mask of purity to the public or enter the world of politics a pure person. While Harvey may have begun his career as a district attorney of Gotham a pure man, he certainly didn't end his career as a pure man. There are a plethora of examples of corruption in our government and how the American people think of the government, but I think we'll just stick to two. A representative from Louisiana drafted the Medicare prescription bill that would make U.S. citizens pay more for prescription drugs and would widely benefit from the drug companies that he supports. The same year, during his re-election campaign, the representative received over 300,000 campaign contributions from the drug companies that his bill would support. This is the reason we as Americans pay more than anyone else in the world on prescription drugs. According to the Sunlight Foundation, 44% of people believe that the president and his cabinet are involved in some type of corruption, and 38% of people believe that Congress are also involved in some type of corruption. That's not very good.
Hey, Chadwick Boseman here. This last scene shows two boats are trying to escape the wretched grasp of Joker's wrath. However, they had not escaped the scary just yet. Joker decided to put them through a little bit of a social experiment. Take a look.
Give it to me. You can tell them I took it by force. Give it to me, and I'll do what you should have did 10 minutes ago.
Can't rely on anyone these days. You gotta do everything yourself. Don't we?
That's okay.
I came prepared. It's a funny world we live in. Speaking of which, you know how I got these scars?
No. But I know how you got these.
You truly are incorruptible, aren't you? Huh? You won't kill me out of some misplaced sense of self-righteousness. And I won't kill you because you're just too much fun. I think you and I are destined to do this forever.
You'll be in a padded cell forever.
Maybe we could share one. You know, they'll be doubling up the rate this city's inhabitants are losing their minds.
This city just showed you that it's full of people ready to believe in good.
This scene shows that the moral goodness of people is enough to outweigh and defeat the corruption we see today. All people have corruption inside them when they are working alone or for something that benefits themselves. But for this scene, it shows when people work together, the goodness inside them outweighs the desire for corruption. In an article by Colin Wood, he talks about the government isn't corrupt itself, but that the people inside it are.
Hey dudes, Crush again. Another article from Moises Name says that the way to prevent corruption is to provide laws that reduce incentives and opportunities for corruption. While laws that do this could help prevention, it is not needed because people will always do corrupt things when working alone. But when working for the good of the group, their whole demeanor changes.